All right, baby. I think we're live.
All right.
Check 1 2, check 1 2, man. Let's see if those lips are lining up.
Testes, 1 2 1 2. Hey,
oh yeah,
hey.
Nice, man. Welcome, brother.
Is that better?
Oh yeah, dude, coming in like crystal clear now. We got it figured out, bro.
I know my mouth wasn't going with my words the last time, so that's what I know. You said there was an issue with that.
Yeah, there was an issue, man, but we got it sorted out because I went and did some digging, and I think I got it figured out, man. So we're good to go. My audio's lined up. Your audio's lined up. We're clear. We're smooth as silk. Let's check the chat. We got Hayes, Anderson, and Uncle Jerry in here tonight so far, but you guys throw a thumbs up in there if the sound's all good and lined up and video quality's good on your guys' end. I got some superhero music playing. Echo, baby. I don't know if you can hear it, but that's what's going on in the background here now. Because we're ready.
No, I actually can't.
Yeah. No, you can't hear it yet. I don't got the screen share going, but we're ready to go. What's up, Jumpstar? All right, man. Synth buns in. 1 2 3.
Yeah.
So what do you think, dude? What have you been up to, man? We got a big week, big 2 weeks, wasn't it?
That was a lot of stuff.
Wow, brother.
A lot. I have to say, this is probably one of the best Superbooths that came out. That I've been watching it for the past, I don't know, what, 5 years now?
Yeah.
So I have to say, this is probably the best one. Although, to me, the best one was when I was on Superbooth. In the Roland booth, I was actually in a video on the Roland booth, so that, you know, just a little pun.
Hey man, that's
throw a little punch in there.
You gotta throw it out, man. That's an accolade we like to hear, you know.
That was pretty cool. But yeah, so I guess they were playing. I had done a video on the TR-8S.
Yeah. And
they played a video of me in Roland Spotlight, put me on there, and they sent it to me, sent me the video, so I posted it on my channel. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But no, actually, getting back to what we were saying, yes, this was definitely probably the biggest one as far as, releases and stuff go. I don't know. I know this, Superbooth is geared really towards a lot of the modular stuff.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of interesting things that were being brought out, and the technology is just getting crazier and crazier. So, there's just so much to talk about, Not even
Superbooth, the whole pre-Superbooth too.
Yeah. Crazy.
It
was worse than NAMM.
Yeah, man.
People were just releasing stuff before Superbooth.
Boom. I wonder why they do that. I don't really get that. I always think that I don't know why they do that, but what do you think they do that for?
I think they do it because a lot of people can't obviously get to Berlin, you know what I mean? Get to Germany. So and a lot of people can't get to NAMM, and back in the day you had to own a store or work for a store or a manufacturer to get to NAMM or be a guest. Now you can buy tickets to go to NAMM. So, that's what I did. I went 4 times. So, I mean, I think it's kind of cool that they actually show you stuff before, but it's always fun to like be connected, like when it's going on. But for us enthusiasts, it's nice that we get to see stuff. Yeah, leak and roll out and things like that,
I told you, man, did we even have a show since the rollout happened of that week? I can't even remember.
No, because we were like, we got to do this.
Oh yeah, we were like, we should do it. And then we're like, I was paralyzed. I swear to God, when I was texting you, I was like, I think I'm paralyzed here, man. I can't dig into this right now, because usually I can dig a little bit, but this was just like wham, 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 wham.
Yeah, it was
wham.
one thing after another.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Totally crazy. So tonight, we got to talk about the Superbooth. We're going to do the Superbooth hangover talk, the best and the worst, what we thought like that. We're going to hit probably the headliner, man. The what do you call it? What do you call it, man? Don't sit on the headline or something, whatever the news people say. We got the headline, which is the missing Moog Muse.
Ooh. That
wasn't missing, was it?
No.
Okay, so we got to talk about that, man. We both watched Sonic State today. We both heard a little bit. I also did a little more digging on my own, and it's absolutely out of this world what's going on with that, man. And it's, it's almost like a bit of a puzzle. So we got that, and then we got this little thing that your idea, man, the gas check, which is like, what got you tingling, man? What's on the gas radar? Oh yeah, the gas radar. Yeah. The gas needle. Yeah.
So what are we gonna do you want to talk about the Moog situation first, or
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, man?
What do they think of the chat?
What do you think in the chat? You guys want to hammer Moog first, or do you want to just cover the Superbooth stuff first? Get that out of the way. See what the chat says here now, because while we're doing that too, man, I had a cool show with Noir et La Blanc, I think you call it. I just call him Noir. He goes by Steven. Cool. And oh man, what's her name? Autumn Guard Music.
Autumn, that's right.
Autumn Guard. Lovely girl, man. It was a super cool thing. I was like humbled they invited me on. It was cool vibe. Maybe we can get one or two of them to pop on here one time, man. We'll do a four-way, something like that.
It was chill, man.
It was cool, right? Different kind of vibe, relaxed, but good chemistry. It was cool. I thought it was cool.
He's awesome anyway. I mean, I like watching his videos too, you know.
Yeah.
One thing I liked about him was one time he said, you know, everybody thinks that I get these synths sent to me to try out and stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes, no, man, I buy this stuff with my own money.
Mm-hmm.
And then this was the best part. He goes, then when I'm done reviewing it, I send it back and I get my money back to buy more. And I thought that was the coolest thing. You know what I mean? Legendary.
Yeah. And you know what? For Arturia blanketed the whole synth mafia with a polybrute. And they didn't get him one, man. I was a bit rotted by that because
really weird.
He did the Astrolab one. I thought he did the best. He was the only person to go and show the Astrolab a little bit of the modulation you could do with it in a live stream. He did, was thought was cool. So I thought that was cool. And they got a cool little thing going. He said he's got that live stream going because it's a little kind of thing what we're doing, something where you can just get together and chat.
They might not even have that many to send yet. I mean,
probably.
You know,
whatever they had, they sent. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, I know we talked about this, you know, when we were chatting back and forth on the phone, and it was like, I think a lot of times they send these synths out like months ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys can get that stuff done.
Get to know it.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure that's what they do. I mean, it'd be crazy if all of a sudden they're like, this giant mailing list of synthesizers goes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true too.
I remember Nick Bat one time saying that he had to pack up a synth because he had to send it to somebody else because they were reviewing it.
Yeah.
So I know that they do stuff like that.
Some trading going on. That's cool too. So listen, man, the chat's saying they want to drop the big Thor hammer on Moog, man. So I got no problem with that. Do you?
No, I'm good, man. I just want to say one thing.
Yeah, man.
The trolling that went on Gearspace.
Oh my God, dude. Wasn't that off the Heezy?
That was brutal.
It's just kind of like an alternative universe when you go into those zones, isn't it?
Well, the thing that struck me, and if anybody goes on Gearspace to read stuff or to find out about gear, they've always been very snobby, very strict. I remember one time I asked a question about a Roland drum kit module, and I asked it in the wrong forum.
Yeah.
And I got chastised by this guy, and I'm like, F you, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know.
Dude. We should start our own forum, man. Let's get our own forum going.
Well, they used to be called Gear Sluts.
Yeah.
And I loved that name because it's like
went too woke though, right?
Because you know, that's why I was like, I used to call myself a gear whore. You know what I mean?
Problem is, all the wokies thought it was about women, but dudes can be that too, right?
Well, they said that the reason why they changed the name was because they did this big thing where should we change our name? You know they're going to change it no matter what anybody said anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And they said that the biggest thing was because they deal with a lot of because they sell gear now. Gearspace.
Okay.
So they deal with a lot of churches and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, that's cool.
Fair enough.
Whatever, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I always thought the name was cool. Like, you know, Guitar Porn, that's another site that I go to. They're not changing their name.
Yeah.
Because it is porn.
Yeah.
It's like you go on there to look at some sexy ass guitars.
Yeah.
You know I mean, so.
Yeah. And there's lots of stuff called that. There's like cabin, let's call it corn, cabin corn.
Right. It's like,
it's like guitar corn.
It's so weird. It's like, so anyway, so, you know, I noticed that that's kind of like this elitist forum. And the more and more I watched people just chastise you, dude.
Some dude hit me up in the comments. He was like, brother, the Moog Mafia is just tearing you apart over on Gearspace. And I was like, are you serious? So I was like, send me a link, would you? And
when you texted me and showed it to me, I was like, I immediately jumped. This one guy called us YouTube clowns, or called you a YouTube clown.
Yeah.
And I just laid into him. I was just like, you know what, man?
But I think it's hilarious. You know, I also think it's hilarious because that kind of stuff to me, like if you notice, I might have said it the other day, man. If you're talking crap about me or you're talking good about me, if you're talking, that's all that matters, right? So,
well, I had a manager back in the day that used to say, I used to get so mad when I would get publicity in like a local rag or something about my band, and it was like be so horrible, like a write-up. And he would say, you know, bad publicity is better than no publicity. The name's getting out there, and people are going to come see you no matter what, and they're going to make their own call. You know, so I agree.
Yeah.
You know,
but it's madness.
I just thought it was funny.
Hilarious. I signed up and I was like, let me just talk to these cats for a bit because this is just out of control. And it just kind of went radio silent. And then, like I said, I think they deleted the whole page when Samurai Army jumped over.
Well, they'll do that, and that's why I don't really care for that. So
listen, if you're gonna do it, keep it up. Don't come at the man, and then when the man shows up to be like, "What's happening?" You guys just delete the pages. That's crazy to me.
You know, do you remember? I am having a hard time logging in.
Yeah,
dude.
Probably banned you.
You have 5 more tries. I'm gonna have 5 more. What is this? Apple?
Yeah, I know. What is it? TD Bank you're logging into here?
Well, no offense to Apple, I mean, but you know, when you lose your password, they give you 3 times, and then you got to wait for them to, you know, and you know, and renew it and stuff. I get that. That's security.
Yeah, give me a break, man.
But you know, what are you, a bank? Like,
exactly.
You only get 5 tries, and then you're out. You know, it's like, no. And finally, I got in.
Yeah, I went over and checked it out, and I was like, "That's hilarious, man." And then, like by that time, I think I had done something, and I ended up getting the boot out. So I was like, "I'm not signing back into here. It's like, gone now. I'll never go back again." But anyway, so that's like a little piece of a side. That's a side chain.
Yeah,
that's a side chain. Yeah. So I mean, the whole Moog Muse story is got a pretty. And the more I was thinking about it when I was out today, because I got home, I had to work early this morning, got up 3:30, went and did a shift till like 4:30, got home, texted you, like ready to go, baby. Had to go. I skipped mowing the lawn and just did 10 wheelbarrows full of wet dirt, dumped all those out, got in the house, got a shower, got right in here. While I was doing all that, I was thinking, I was like, is Moog messing with us? I'm like, is Moog playing one of those games? Because then I'm starting to think, strategically, why not ride this wave of it's coming, it's not coming, sounds crap, sounds awesome. Synth Mafia have seen it. No, they haven't seen it. It's not shipping. Oh, it is shipping. It's going to be expensive. Oh, we're cutting the price. You know, so if I was Jack O'Donnell, I'd be like, maybe let's run the meta game on the social media right now if they're marketing. So what do you think? What do you think?
So
start from the beginning, man. Start from what you think about what's going on with this whole scenario.
Well, I mean, so do you want me to? How about if I just read what I wrote?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Because I was so pissed off. I was like, you guys got to be kidding me with this, right? Like, so this is what I wrote. Or is this? I just watched. So I wrote, this is on Gearspace because I was tired of them heckling you.
Yeah.
So all I wrote was, you know, I just watched Sonic State and Nick Bat. Nick Bat said he couldn't really talk about the situation with Moog. There are people who dislike the way Moog has lost their way, which, I mean, that's basically it.
That's standard right now. People kind of, I think that's accepted but outside the Moog Mafia, everybody accepts that Moog has kind of drifted down into some unknown ravine, you know?
Yeah. You know, and then I said, you know, I literally said, I mean, I'm a Moog fan. I have a Moog sticker on one of my cabinets over here. And you know what I mean? I have Moog t-shirts. Yeah. I had Moog gear. We talked about that.
Your heart was with Moog for a while, man.
Yeah. But then, you know, I said Bob Moog, because I followed Bob Moog for years.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when he sold the company and then that other company bought it and kind of ran it into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then he got it back. I got the name back. And I said, Bob Moog would be very upset if he knew how what was happening to his company. Nobody, you know, this is a legacy company. This is one of the pioneers of synthesizers, if not the pioneer of synthesizers. I mean, you've got Dave Smith, you've got all these guys. Dave Smith invented MIDI.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? These guys are legendary.
They're the Mount Rushmore of synths, right? Who do you got? You got Bob Moog. You got
dude,
Dave
we got to
Smith,
do that.
Chris Huggins.
Yeah,
the Mount Rushmore.
Faces up there.
Yeah,
man.
It's sweet.
The guy from Roland, what's his name?
Japanese dude.
Japanese dude. Yeah, another amazing creator. You know what I mean? So I mean, you know, and you got to throw Steve Jobs up there.
Yeah,
I know there's a lot of people that don't like Apple, but you know.
Hey man,
Apple computers changed my life.
Let's be honest. Pioneer. Say what you want.
Yeah. But the thing is that upset me is how, you know, they show this thing with the Muse, you know, with what's his name? The heavyweight. I'm bad with names, guys. I'm sorry.
You're talking about Mike Dean?
Yeah, Mike Dean, right?
Yeah.
Mike Dean's a beast.
He's the beast of all beasts, if you ask me.
Right?
Yeah.
He's like American version of Jean-Michel Jarre.
Exactly.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
Right. And they give him this synth and he plays it. He's in the studio and he's doing this thing. And then all of a sudden, it's like a cloud of smoke.
Yeah.
Gone. Right.
Yep.
And then, you know, they roll out, you know, the Spectravox. I'm like, wait, time out here. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, Spectravox.
Like, Spectravox, that was something that was made at Moog Fest.
Spectra expensive is what it is for what it is.
$5.99.
Give me a break.
And I think I texted you today the full version of that, the real Moog, what do you call it? Vocoder.
Yeah.
Right? That thing, I don't know. I think I forget how much that was.
5 Gs or something?
It's like $5,000 or something like that.
Give me a break.
Again, it's a vocoder.
Yeah. And they didn't even give you the vocoder with the Spectravox. They didn't even bother throwing one of those little gooseneck Arturia mics into the box with it. I mean, you buy a Micro Freak from Arturia for $250 and you can get the gooseneck vocoder thing. They put one on the
Korg.
The JDXR, the Korg. You know?
Yeah.
Come on.
The Korg Micro Korg.
Yeah.
Comes with a little microphone. You couldn't have done that?
No.
Right? And then I don't know if Tiger Arcade reviewed it.
That was a great review. I wrote him. I was like, bro, awesome.
Yeah, I did too. And I was shocked because he tried doing something and he was like, well, I guess I can't actually demo that. This doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I went $5.99. I go, Uli would have built that thing and we'd have sold it for $2.99, maybe $2.49.
Insane.
The other thing I wanted to say too, somebody totally trashed you in Sonic State when they said, why don't you go tell Uli to build a right?
Yeah. I feel like sometimes nobody knows that there's a joke happening or something. I don't know. Like maybe it's because I'm thinking it's a joke in my brain, and when it comes out in words, people are like, "Don't think it's a joke." I don't know. But go on.
That's the thing. Like even on Sonic State, they hate Behringer.
Yeah.
You know. I love the things that you and I have come up with. The synth mafia.
Yeah.
Synth espionage.
The memes are starting to become reality. So let's go back. So hold on. So Mr. Filter Sweep is in the chat. AKA Synthpunk, and the genesis of the Moog Muse, AKA the Moog Mirror, came from Synthpunk. All right, because Synthpunk got punk moles in all the companies as well. He's got people talking. He's talking to people. He's connected in weird ways, and he got info a while back that this 8-voice polyphonic synthesizer was coming.
I remember that.
And the Moog Mirror was what it was supposed to be. Me and Synthpunk had a chat, and we both kind of simultaneously were just talking about it while also making videos. As time went on, it came out as the Moog Muse, all right?
Right.
4 months later or something. So all credit to that scoop goes directly to Synthpunk and Mr. Filter Sweep. So, yeah. Which also, just a quick note, I threw an invite out to Mr. Filter Sweep to be on that Synth Show exclusive next Thursday night
Nice.
I'm waiting for him to accept the invitation. So we'll see. It's out there, baby. We're ready. We're ready to bring Mr. Filter Sweep out to the masses, baby. So let's go. Anyway, so back to Moog Muse. So then we get this drama come out again that the Moog Muse, after all the baloney that happened with the marketing, right? The up and down, like you said. Then we get to the point where it's like, oh, a leak comes out that Lisa Belladonna, Eric Norlander, and a couple Moog Muses will be making an appearance at Superbooth. Now, I can't remember if they've ever been at Superbooth, if they've been there a couple times, or what's going on, right?
I don't remember Lisa Belladonna ever being at Superbooth.
What about Moog? Has Moog ever been there?
I don't remember.
Who knows? Who knows? But either way, I guess it was kind of a big deal for them to go.
But I'm serious. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't think they have.
So if they haven't, just say it's the first or one of few times that they were going to show up at Superbooth. And also, some word from behind the scenes was this was like a.
Oh wait,
what's up?
Wait, yes, they were when they launched the Rogue One.
Rogue One. So that's a while ago.
And it wasn't ready. It was still had some janky stuff going on, but at least they showed it.
Deja vu, right? So what was going to happen is that the two of them were showing up at Moog, and they were going to have a duet kind of play together for the masses and really let that Moog Muse shine, especially after, nothing against Mike Dean and stuff, but it was a grainy phone video and the sound. People were complaining about the sound, whether that was on purpose,
I thought
strategic.
It was cool.
I thought it was cool too, because it got people loving it and hating it. So I think sometimes that's more strategic than it is a mistake. So then we get word that they're going to go. Let's fast forward to last Friday. Last Friday, I did oscillators and beer in the backyard. And just as a joke, I said that Lisa Belladonna, because Moog Muse was nowhere to be found.
Right.
There was all they showed up with that weird Spectravox, and Moog Muse was nowhere to be found. And you would have assumed that it was going to be the first table everyone's going to, next to the Polybrute. So the joke was Lisa Belladonna and Eric Norlander had a hotel room rented off-site somewhere, a suite, and they were going to send out a secret text message to the Synth Mafia, all the legends. And this isn't a knock. It's almost like an homage to the made men of the synth world, right? So Cuckoo was going to get one. Nick Matt was going to get one. Bo Beats, Dr. Mix, all the boys were going to get an invite, VIP style. And they all showed up. They all had their cameras out, ready to record. Boom. Lisa Belladonna got a phone call. It's old Jackie boy saying, pull it. The Arturia is too awesome. We cannot release this now. Blah, 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 blah. Kind of joking around with it, right? And then Lisa Belladonna just did a jam in front. So that was all just made up off the cuff for a laugh.
Which is really interesting because from what I read when you were chatting with Nick today.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody, Synth Samurai was chatting. He was chatting with Nick Bat, which was dope, by the way. And also Nick Bat mentioned you several times, and he invited you to go to Superbooth. So you better take him up on that, man.
If I go to Superbooth, I'm going full samurai garb. I'm having two ninjas as bodyguards and a couple geisha girls rolling like that. I don't know.
That was pretty cool.
It's cool. It's a cool shout out. I think it's cool shout out to Nick Bat. That's pretty cool that he's giving me some shine from the show. Like I said, go on.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt you. Just because what I thought was cool about that is because Nick Bat basically said everything that you're saying right now.
Yes.
So you predicted this. You're like on a crystal ball somewhere, dude. Like,
I think it's what was going on with Rick Rubin's book, brother. I think
it's weird.
It came and the antenna's going and it went in.
But it's weird.
So basically, as far as we know right now, because this has also got other sources coming too.
And Lisa Belladonna did perform.
Lisa Belladonna performed, and somebody hit me up today and said, we were having a chat, and they said, by the way, Lisa Belladonna was performing her Matriarch with the two Moog Sound Studios, and he said that whoever was there with her, I don't know if it was Norlander or some other cat, some other suit was with her, he told the crowd, oh, we had trouble getting We had trouble getting Moogs through customs. We couldn't get our synths over here. We had to borrow synthesizers from the Germans. You know, we had to scrounge up this matriarch and scrounge up these things. So he told that to the people, and this cat told it to me because he was there in the flesh. Now,
Toman pulled up with a van and gave them synths,
exactly.
right?
You hauled up with a bunch. Give me a break. So we ended up finding out, not all the details, but I'm assuming my story is pretty much dead on, is that
it's pretty close from
an
the way
invite
we
went
saw
out,
it.
a VIP invite went out off-site. They didn't even show up with it. Off-site in some suite somewhere, there was a party. Everybody was invited. Who was anybody, you know? We like to call them the Synth Mafia, the capos of each, what do we call it? Each prefecture is what we would say in Japan. You know, the capos of each, the capos of each zones, you know.
Each province.
Yeah, showed up, and I guess, this is allegedly now, because this isn't from anybody, but allegedly, they showed up, no phones, no cameras, no nothing.
They weren't allowed to.
NDA to get in.
Yep.
And basically can't really talk about anything other than I think they were all authorized to say it was there. Because there was such an uproar about it not being there, and a stir starts happening, and they must have said, well, you know, you guys can let everyone know that it was here.
You know, Nick Batt basically said we weren't allowed to film, we weren't allowed to talk about it, and he even said it today on the show. He said, I can't say any more than that.
Yeah, which is fair enough, fine,
right?
But I can.
That's right.
You can.
And here's the other thing. You know, and let's give the benefit of the doubt.
Benefit of the doubt.
Maybe during shipping something happened. Maybe. You know, this thing isn't road tested yet.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, or maybe, you know, they dropped the ball. The engineers dropped the ball with the firmware and stuff. Who knows? But come on, customs. Come on, guys. You know.
But this is the question, brother. This is the question I got for you. Did the Synth Mafia end up going to a room and get given a playbook of instructions of what is to come?
I doubt that.
Or did they get brought into a room and say, here, boys, have a beer, have a Heffenweizen, grab whatever you want, and just mess around with the Moogs, the Moog Muses. Grab a Carlsberg and mess around with the Moog Muses, mate. You know?
I don't think so, dude. I think they were turned away. I think they were told that they can't talk about it. They can't talk about what happened. And that's kind of what I got from Nick today in the show.
Almost like an Eyes Wide Shut party, is it?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Synth style now, you know?
Yeah, but it's really weird.
PG.
It's like,
you know,
that was a freaking weird movie.
Yeah. So the boys showed up. The boys showed up. There was an elevator out back. They had to go to an elevator in the back of the hotel. All right. They went up from the basement. They went up to the penthouse. They knocked on the door. So it was a door, and then they go in, and there's another door. So when they got in the first door, there was two dudes standing there, two huge German dudes, and they had these velvet bags.
And they'd said 9.
They had two velvet bags, and the bags were full of masks. So not only did the boys have to sign an NDA, they had to put a mask on before they could go in and play the Muse. That's the rumor. I don't know. That's allegedly. I don't know about that.
It's just so weird. I really don't think anybody saw anything. I think that I really think that they were turned away. They were told about this, like you said. They were told that it was like, you know, hey, we got this. We're gonna have you guys come in and film it and check it out. And then when they pulled the plug, it was like, it was either there in Germany and it wasn't functioning, and that's probably why they turned them away.
All right, so it was there and functioning. They saw it. It was there and not functioning and turned away, or it was there not functioning and it was a meeting of the minds, you know?
Could have been.
This is all speculation. We're just speculating here.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's speculation, but I mean, from what we've heard and what we've seen in the news that you were sending to me, it looks like it was there, it wasn't functioning, and they were told they can't talk about it.
So,
and Lisa Belladonna was invited to Germany to go perform, and she had
on a matriarch in a sound studio. So okay, so let's rewind a little bit. If we're looking at this now with sober eyes after Superbooth is over, Moog did all that to release a Spectravox and have Lisa Belladonna do another 100th show on the matriarch, not even a noir one that she loves, on a matriarch with 2 sound studios.
I mean,
it doesn't make no sense.
It doesn't make any sense. But the other thing too is obviously she's being endorsed by Moog. Obviously, I mean, her studio is amazing. So, I think whether they flew her out there, and paid for her and everything, that's cool. You know what I mean? I just think that, Moog, like I said in the letter that I wrote to Gearspace, Moog, ever since they sold and they went under, and because as far as I'm concerned, they went under. They sold their name and everything in music. I loved the way Tiger Arcade showed the box. It's made in Taiwan.
Unbalanced. Right?
It's unbalanced. He said that it feels like it's not worth $599.
Yeah. He said $350, and that's kind of Behringer's own, right? It's a Behringer Neutron. Yeah, he bought it of his own money.
And when I saw him talk about it, I was like, oh, they sent him one.
That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too.
But I loved it when he's like, nope, and he took the Sweetwater candy out. And he's like, no, I bought it myself, and I want to see his follow up. I have a feeling he's going to send it back. I know he likes all the Moog modules.
Yeah,
that's his thing, and he loves Moog, and that's cool.
Well, that's the thing. If he's a Moog fanboy too, for him to be saying this, he wasn't impressed.
No, he was not.
Right.
So I think, Moog, here's my thought.
Yeah.
And anybody in the chat room. And
what do you guys think in the chat room? You guys chime in with what you guys think's going on with the Moog Mafia and everything behind the scenes.
My thing is, when Moog came out with the Moog 1, the Rogue One, sorry, sounds like a movie, Moog 1, Rogue One.
Cool name, man.
Right.
The Rogue? What a cool name for a synth.
Well, it's Rogue One. Wasn't that a Star Wars movie?
Oh, yeah, it was too. Yeah.
But when they came out with that and they had, what was it? It was 2 models, right? It was a $7,000 model and a $9,000 model. Now, there was a guy that I used to do a podcast with, and I talked about this before. That's Marshall Arnold. He bought one. He bought the $9,000 model. And he was having issues with it. It wasn't working with MIDI. There was some type of issue with, I think it was one of the oscillators. There was all kinds of shit going on with it. Pardon my French. And I was like, just sitting there going, okay, well, you just spent $9,000 on something that's not ready yet. That's when I knew. I had a feeling that Moog was starting to tank, and that was around the same time that I sold my stuff. Because I was just like, I was like, I think I told you, I had a sub fatty. I had it repaired twice, and that was it. And once the second time I had it repaired, I put it on reverb and sold it.
Some dude told me today in the comments, he was like, I bought a grandmother, had to send it back. Bought another grandmother, had to send it back. Yeah. Got the matriarch, had to send it back. Got the sub something, had to send it back. Sent it back. The customer service was not the best. It was annoying. And he was like, at that point, he said, same as you. He's like, I can't just keep doing this, And then you get this weird Behringer derangement syndrome where Behringer, for the amount of synths they put out, because you got to keep it in a ratio too. You got to keep it in a ratio. Right. The amount of synths people are buying from Behringer is more than Moog.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you get a problem here and there with Behringer, and you get a problem here and there with Moog, it's a bigger problem with Moog because there's less of them in circulation. So that means, so the Behringer derangement syndrome is just...
well, like I said, the whole Behringer derangement syndrome is basically, that's the whole Yuli thing. That's, when... and I can't really blame Yuli for that.
I love Yuli, man. I love Yuli.
I can't really blame him for that. I blame his staff.
Dude, listen.
Because they're the ones that are out there like like trashing people, but I'm sitting there going, well, you know what? Whatever, man. I'm like, my friend Manny FaceTimed me from Australia the other night, and he said, hey man, show me your studio. And I was like, Behringer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're a Behringer boy, baby, just like me.
Behringer. You know what I mean?
That's right. I'm an Arturia boy. I don't know what I am now. What are you? Are you Arturia or Behringer? Who's the horse race for you?
Both.
Yeah, neck and neck?
Yeah.
All right, I think so too.
You know, I mean, I have some Arturia stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot my Behringer, my DeepMind 12.
Don't forget that donor.
But it's right here. New knobs.
I might pick that up, dude.
Dude, that thing's sick. It sounds amazing.
I didn't know it was all analog.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like an all analog, but
no, it looks like a toy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I might pick that up. That's cheap as chips. $115 for the donor. What's the name of it? Donor. B1?
The B1.
Yeah.
Wait, because I got mine for $79 on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new. So wait.
That's sweet.
Because they run these sales all the time. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is for me, you know, I think it's harder for us to, so if I have a problem with Behringer and where I bought it, right? They're not going to send that back to Germany.
No.
They're going to turn around and say, well, let me ship you a new one. You just ship me that one back or whatever.
Or keep it.
Or keep it, right? And, you know, I'm just sitting there thinking to myself going, okay, I've dealt with Moog, and don't get me wrong, the two dudes that I dealt with, the two engineers I dealt with, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
Called me constantly, but I don't think they even work there anymore. Who knows who works there anymore? Letting me know what's going on. And when they shipped it back to me, it was great. It, you know, worked fine. Then it died. I had two voices
mm-hmm.
die on me.
That's crazy. Right?
Sent it back again.
How much? How much was the synth?
At that, when I bought it, was brand new $899.
Right, that ain't cheap, baby.
No, but it was considered. That's just when they were starting to look at the little guy and saying, "Hey, let's get our synths out to the masses." You know what
mm-hmm.
I mean? I mean, that was the cheapest I think I've ever seen. Other than the Mogafogers and things like that,
mm-hmm.
You know, and the little, what was it, the Workstat, and what was the other one?
The Mavis.
Oh, and the what's the other one there? The little, it looks like a bull. It's got a bull on it. It's like a Toro.
Oh yeah,
Taurus.
the Taurus, I think it is, or what is it called? The Minotaur or something?
Minotaur.
Yeah.
That's a great analog synth. But
I heard that's a deadly synth. Yeah,
it is. It's nice, but I mean, this supposedly was Bob Moog's last synthesizer that he worked on, was a Sub-Fatty.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just disenchanted after the second time. I'm like, you know, come on, man. Like, you know, all right, it's $899. Well, I sold it on Reverb for $600
mm-hmm.
and I had it for 3 years.
Yeah.
So I feel as though, you know, I got my money's worth out of it. I did some tracks with it, you know, done.
They've been riding the Bob Moog reputation in that company for a while now. And like I said, everyone might think I'm a Moog hater. I'm not a Moog hater. I'm actually cheering for Moog more than anybody. You know, I'm cheering for them. I'm rooting for them. I want them to rise like the Phoenix, but I'm still going to hold the feet to the fire when they're acting.
How many iterations are you going to come out with a mini Moog?
Listen, man, be careful. You know Mr. Filter Sweep is in love with that mini Moog. So
look, Mr. Filter Sweep, I played
Capsule 2. Space Capsule 2 loves the mini Moog.
Well, that's one thing I'm going to say. I love the mini Moog.
Yeah.
But every time that we discontinue it, and then like a year later, oh, we come out with the anniversary model. It's in this color wood now.
Yeah.
Guys, come on.
Yeah, knock it off now. Just, you know what? How about do this? Somebody said do this. They said, take the TE-5 Oberheim just did, take the Take 5 that Sequential did, and make the Moog 5. You know, just knock down a 5. Like, just figure, why don't you get just above entry-level synth to the masses and do it?
Because they have this thing in their heads, I think, that Moog has to have a flagship all the time. One of the greatest synthesizers I ever played by Moog was the Voyager.
A lot of people love the Voyager.
It was the Voyager Frankenstein Extended. That's what they called it, because everything on this panel lit up green, dude. It was coolest looking synth, and it sounded badass, right? I know people that own those and have very rarely had them repaired. Okay. And what happened? Oh, we're going to make these anymore.
That was just the craziest.
Right. And they
how many voices was the Voyager?
4. I think it was 4.
Yeah.
I think it was 4.
So why not just do a Voyager XL? You know, why not just
it wasn't Poly.
Why not build off? I know, that's what I'm saying though. Well, why not? Look at what they did with the Micro Freak and the Mini Freak. Why not build? Oh, looking good up there, man. I like that. You got that put in the right spot.
Short videos today, messing around with it. It was kind of fun.
All right, let's jump here for a sec. So chapter 2 of the Moog scenario. Chapter 2 was Joe, or Jack O'Donnell, whatever his name is, Jack O'Donnell, had a meeting, called in a bunch of staff, engineers. Yep. He looked at them, and this is, I'm paraphrasing now, and this is allegedly, called in the staff, looked at them, and said, what the F is going on? Why the F is this Moog Muse not ready to go? You guys have been working on this for how long? What the is going on? And he looked at him and he said, you're telling me that a bunch of French, you know what, can put out a 12-voice polybrute with every single function on the face of the earth, you know, a CS80 revamped. They can put that out, have it ready, all the marketing, videos pristine, have one in every member of the Synth Mafia's hands within seconds, and we're still here, can't get our firmware figured out on the Moog Muse. And then I guess a couple of engineers were like, obviously like you would, but, you're fired, get out. You 4, you're the lead engineers.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know how much say he has.
I think that is been
dead
leaked,
on,
my friend. Yeah.
Oh, hold on one sec. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it might be allegedly.
Dead on. Allegedly.
Sorry.
Allegedly.
I had to disconnect.
No worries. Yeah, I'm there, man. So that's all. That's all allegedly. Chapter 2. What do you think of that?
Well, you might be right. Sorry, I had to get another drink.
I got a full bottle here, baby, of kombucha.
Oh, nice. I just opened up a Liquid Death.
Nice, man. Isn't that such a crazy name for a water, which is supposed to be liquid life?
Yeah, it's wild. This is Bury It Alive. It's got berries in it. It's really good, actually.
Good
but anyway,
marketing, yeah.
I digress. So here's what I think. I don't know if he has that much say in the company, because it is owned by InMusic now. Although you may be right, because then, this is all speculation.
Could be wrong.
Again.
This is all allegedly.
Yeah, because he might still have a lot of say, and InMusic was pushing this out.
Yeah.
And he turned around and said, what the F are you guys doing?
So you think he might have been getting some top pressure?
Maybe.
And then he's like,
and then when he realized what happened, he did what you said. He was like, I'm done with this. Like, you guys can't put this out there like that.
Yeah. Or get it out there.
Yeah.
Like, can you get it out there? How come it's not ready? You knew we had this trip booked a month ago. How come the firmware isn't ready? Now,
you got to remember, if this is made in Taiwan, right? We're talking a bigger factory, obviously, than the one in Asheville, right? Where it's all hand wired. That's another thing that I get very upset about with Moog. It's all hand wired. It's all assembled. I think all the other stuff is built somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a jerk.
I heard most of the parts are Behringer parts anyway. So.
Oh, you're really throwing it out there tonight, man.
I mean, that's what I've heard. I heard Cool Audio's the one supplying all the chips for all the companies.
It's possible.
So I heard the TE-5 is made with Behringer chips. I heard the Take 5 is made with Behringer chips. I don't know. I didn't hear all that. I'm just messing around. But
well, there's a spot over here that is bare, and we'll get into that later. So I have something
You're going to put something there?
Yeah.
All right. So listen. So let's go. So anyway, that's chapter 2.
So chapter 2. So that's what I think. I think that either he was getting some pressure from the top, or they were pressuring Moog, because it's still technically Moog.
Yeah.
And they were saying, they were like, well, we got to get this out there because, Arturia is coming out with the Polybrew 12.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really the case with that either, but you never know. And I think when he saw what happened, or what was going on, I mean, dude, the other thing, let's go back and pull it back a little bit too. Marketing for Moog has sucked. It's really been bad.
Well, I'll pose to you the same question I posed on my channel today. If you were CEO of Moog, what would you do right now?
I would have fired the marketing team.
That's exactly what I said. Immediately, marketing team, you're gone. And I'd bring in a cause marketing team to fill the gap and be like, you four are running marketing for Moog right now until we get this, sorted out.
Exactly. And the other thing too is, their marketing. So I remember when I bought my first, that was my first Moog, right? The Sub Fatty. And when I got it, you were supposed to come with this Moog poster of like the 60s psychedelic thing. And you saw the one that Tiger Arcade got. That was supposed to be they're supposed to put those in every box, right? I don't really care. I don't want a poster, right? But that was their whole thing. And then they had the whole grassroots thing. Remember, you got, I'm so pissed off, dude. I go to NAMM and I'm sitting there. This is the first year, and Moog has like a garden, and there's flowers and there's plants, and everybody's like, well, this is really weird, man. Like, and there's sand on the floor, and like, I'm like, man, I just want to check the synth out. Like, I walk over to Korg, and Korg's got everything laid out to everyone to play, and this, and it just says Korg,
Yeah.
When they
their
came
marketing has been messed for a while, I think,
the marketing's been horrible.
It's been horrible. The naming of the synths has been horrible. The rollouts have been horrible.
And I don't want to sound sexist or anything, and we discussed this before, the whole thing with the grandmother, the matriarch, the mother drummer from another mother. What's with the mothers, man?
There was a little bit, for everything I heard, there was a little bit of an agenda going on behind the scenes. The head of marketing, she also worked for Teenage Engineering. As far as I know, that didn't go well either. And I think she got into Moog, and I think she was more working on an agenda than she was on the Moog company and the Moog sound. Like, it was more important to have that synth named something that was in line with her ideology than it was to do the synth properly,
Well, and I could see that, because
from what I heard,
the Sub Fatty was a very, what's it called? Controversial name.
Yeah.
Nobody really know why it was called that, but if you're a synth player, you know why it's called that, because it was a bass synth.
Yeah.
It was fat.
Yeah.
And it was sub.
Yeah, exactly.
It made sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Other people were saying, oh, it had to do with smoking weed. I'm like, well, can you just stop? Like,
yeah, I know.
Now where weed is such a big thing with everybody, it's like, they'd probably call it the Sub Fatty again, but
well, I hope they go back to naming cool stuff. That's why when the Muse came out, I kind of really I liked the idea of the Muse, because it was the Muse. There's 9 muses, 8 voices, and you're the 9th voice, and that is the Muse. I heard that's how they come up with the name. I think that's cool.
And a Muse is somebody that inspires you.
Yeah,
that's a cool name.
Cool name.
Yeah.
I like the Mirror too. I thought the Mirror was cool.
The Moog 1, that was cool.
Moog 1, the Voyager, Rogue, all those names are awesome. Minotaur.
Subsequent 37. I was like, you could have come up with a better name than that.
Yeah, that's not a good name at all.
But I mean, I'm not trying to hate on them for their names. It's just that I think their marketing strategy kind of drove them into the ground. I know that his daughter, she put all her sights on the Moog Foundation. Getting dad's name to stay out there in the museum and all that stuff.
And fair enough. Maybe she kind of was like, it's more important to have my father's reputation preserved and his history preserved, but also your reputation's...
You're putting your name on this stuff.
I know. You might as well just change the name then. if you're going to let it go down the tubes like this. But okay, so chapter 3, brother. So that's chapter 2. So then we roll on to chapter 3. Chapter 3, we got.
Oh, the one that you found,
today.
Yes, what you were talking about
today. I got it come across the Samurai hotline that it hit the production line today, and the price has now dropped. So they cut the price, and it's hit production.
To what?
Well, rumors are it was coming in between 4 and 6. Arturia comes out for $3,999. I'm guessing, this is a guess, 3,499 is what I'm guessing. And if they really want to go crazy, 2,500. If they do 2,500, they'll sell them. If they do 35, what are you going to do? You're going to get the Polybrute, or you're going to get the Moog? You know, that's where we're at now. We need people to buy the Muse, not the Polybrute. That's where we're at. Nobody's got 10 grand to pay, but some people got 5, you know? No one's getting a Polybrute and a Muse.
I mean, when Oberheim came out with the TEO 5, I was like, wow, $14.99. That's pretty good.
That's a good deal.
You know, it's poly. You know, it's a 5-voice poly. It's from what it's got the sim filter on it. From what I understand, it's a killer synth. I watched some videos on it.
Sounds awesome. Oh baby, you TOE? TEO, dude? You going?
No,
what is it? Elroy? Is that his middle name? Thomas Elroy?
I think I might. I always wanted an Oberheim, and
damn, dude. Mr. Filter Sweep's trying to get me a Pro 3. I'm liking the TEO5 too, though, but I'm also liking the Osmos a lot as well. But continue. What got you sprung?
I watched a couple of videos of it today, and I was like, man, that just sounds killer. I can't wait till Starsky Carr gets his hands on this thing, because he was showing it, checking it out at Superbooth, and his eyes were like bugging out of his head. So.
Well, let's segue to Superbooth. Now, that's Moog, man. You figure it out. That's all the news we got on Moog. Chapter 3, Chapter 4 will come in 2 weeks, I'm assuming.
One more thing. Though. Yeah. The price.
Yeah.
So, Oberheim, even when they came out with the OBX, is it the OBX-A, the newest one they came out with? What is that? It's like $8,000, dude.
Mm-hmm. Mental.
I think I said this to you. I'm like, I could buy, in New England, we call them winter beaters. Those are cars that, we want to put our good car away. We grab a winter beater that we don't give a crap about, right? I could buy a winter beater for less than that. We're talking about a car.
I know, dude. I know. That's the thing, man. The price of stuff now also, I got to check myself every once in a while, because you get caught in this, the synth verse, and you start looking at money different than outside the synth verse, like for me to spend $1,000, $2,000 on something outside of the synth verse, bro, almost impossible. I got so much crap I need to get.
I'm laughing, dude, because my friend Manny and I, right? Manny's a fantastic, what do you call it? Engineer, right? Mm-hmm. He does a lot of mixing and stuff. And so him and I went to AAS, and, we're walking around and we're looking at Manly, and we're looking at all these high end, outboard gear and stuff like that. And so, he ends up buying some stuff that's really high end. Mm-hmm. And, so that's when I pulled the trigger on the Dave Smith, Rev 2. Mm-hmm. And, it was a really funny story too, because I almost went home. We took the train to New York, and I walked into Sam Ash's, and they were like, well, dude, I'll give you a deal on it today. You can walk out of the store with it. I'm like, what am I going to do? Rent another seat just to bring this thing home on the train? Yeah. Well, anyway, real quick. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Manny and I always say now, like we'll say, well, how much is that? Oh, dude, it's only like $2,000. Oh, really? Pfft. Dude, you should pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, because when it comes to gear, like you said, you're in this gear universe.
You're not even looking at like money anymore. You're looking at it like levels of synthesizers rather than money. Like.
But meanwhile, I got to
get this done. I got to get that done. The missus wants this done. I'm just like, You know, I mean, come on, bro. Like, you saw me today, I wrote you and thank the Lord, actually. Thank the Lord, and also, God, why'd you make me miss it? Because I was trying to get that Kickstarter for the Sima Forma alt synth.
That's right, yeah,
and I set my alarm for 11:55 p.m. and it's supposed to be a.m.
Right after you said that, I got the email.
Oh, and so like I didn't get it, and then I was like, should I get it? So I wrote them, was like, can I get back in on this? You gonna let me in? And obviously they didn't reply to my email, which is fine because they probably got a system and all worked out. They're French.
Oh, yeah.
But now I'm kind of actually like, you know what? I was just about to spend like 900 quid on a synth, which I don't even really know if it works properly yet. It's like and like, so now I'm just, again, what you're saying is like someone in the chat, I think it was Hayes, said we're drunk on gas. And guess what, baby? Yeah, it was synth gas, man. It's the best gas around.
And I've said it in some of my videos too. Like I early on, I was like, I'd always start my video off with, and I bought something else.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
and so you're gonna get the TE-05?
I'm thinking about it, dude.
Baby, you got to get it, man. Get it.
It's gonna sit above the Osmos,
bro. From what I heard, this almost blows all the other Oberheims away.
Well, I mean, that's what I heard.
It's got the same sound, plus
it sounded
more,
just like
plus
the OBX, dude.
Way more. Well, it's the melding.
This is what I did. You're gonna laugh. I went, okay, Behringer UBXA TEO.
It's a UBXA killer.
The killer is the Behringer is $1,100. This is $14.
I know, but man, the Behringer's too big.
Let's
just say it. When you got the TE-05, you already got a Rev 2. The UBXA, and don't get me wrong, I love the UBXA. I personally think it's one of the most, the top releases in years when you do the price sound ratio. I mean, if you want a 16 voice, has it got polyphonic aftertouch or just aftertouch? Whatever. I think it's got polyphonic, but
I think it's polyphonic.
Polyphonic aftertouch and or aftertouch, 16 voices, an homage to the original, and it's got a couple other things too.
It's got effects on it too,
and it's got effects. So you got $1,100, and if you want that big boy sound, but it's big, man. I'm half thinking about getting rid of the Hydra Deluxe and downsizing to the Chromeo, baby, 49. What do you think of that?
Wow, really?
Because I'm kind of thinking for what I'm doing, man, I don't really need the bitimbral aspect of what it is here.
Yeah.
And 16 voices is 16 voices, but I'm thinking, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I just think I like that chrome.
It's sharp. It is
chrome and cream, baby. Chrome and cream, man.
I know you're into white, and I get it.
Yeah, dude. Chrome and cream, man. Come on.
But the TEO is. I was looking at it, I was listening to it, and I'm like, wow, this is really, really nice. And now I was trying to figure out what the difference was between that and was it the Pro 3?
Take 5?
Take 5. That's it. Because they look very similar.
Filter.
It's the filter, the SIM filter.
Filter's a big difference, and there's a couple other little things too. I can't remember.
But I'm looking at it and I'm going, yeah, but you know what? That the pinstriping.
Ah, dude, the pinstripe.
And that nice blue LED readout. And
do you like the pinstripe?
I do. I've always liked Oberheim synths.
Yeah, bro. I could see you in a pinstripe suit, man. I could see that.
I had played one a long time ago, and I was blown away by it. Of course, I played Jump from Van Halen on it. I was like, that's what he used. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was good. That was a good horn sound.
Yeah,
sample that.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, you saw the MPCs showing up in my fridge these days.
Oh my God, dude. I was crying. I showed everybody in work that, especially this dude, Melvin, who owns one.
Yeah. And
he was dying. He goes, he's got to continue doing this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a few because I actually think it's kind of funny.
One of the girls I showed him work, she goes, she's a like a filmmaker artist kind of thing. That she does some crazy stuff. And she goes, you know what he should do? He's going out to his car. The car starts up automatically. And he's like, what the hell? And then he gets in the car and he's driving. And he looks in his rearview mirror and it's sitting right back in the back seat.
Dude, oh my God. For everybody in the chat that doesn't know what's going on, me and Echo have been chatting back and forth. And the MPC, as you know, if you've been following the journey, is just haunting me. It's like, you know, the haunting of the red demon of the red MPC one is just, I can't get rid of it, and I can't get into it. So I'm stuck in the purgatory, MPC purgatory. And we just did a video the other day where it's just showing up in spots. I open my fridge, the MPC's in there. I open the cupboard, it's there. I pull back the sheets to get in bed, the MPC is there. So I'm gonna make some shorts with it. Yeah.
That's another thing. The MPC's next to your wife in bed, right?
Yeah,
it's
like, I go in the room and I'm like, you know, the music's playing. I figure something's going on. It's very romantic, and I go and flick the light on, and Kate's lying down next to the MPC, and I'm like, hey, what the fuck's going on here? You know, the MPC's playing. What is it playing? Playing the song from Ghost. What song is that?
Oh my god!
Sampled the song from Ghost with a little break beat.
I'm telling you, man, you know, you're going to take a shower, you pull back, the water's running already. You pull back the curtain, it's sitting right there. It's like,
yeah, go to a movie, put my hand in the popcorn, and there's an MPC in the popcorn.
There's an MPC.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm down with the TE-05. I think, okay, so let's segue a little bit here, see what's going on in the chat, see what anyone's saying. All good. I think there's a little war going on, but I think everyone made up in there now, all friends again. But yeah, I think Mr. Filter Sweet and Hayes are having a little sparring match, but they're all made up now and it's all good. So what's up, Frank Manhands? Banana Rodder's here, Synth Fun's here. We got Uncle Jerry's obviously here. We got Mr. Filter Sweep, Hayes Anderson, Jumpstar, Inky the Cat might make an appearance. A few people in here. I don't know how many, but there's a few. So Superbooth, man.
Superbooth. Yes.
It came. We already talked about how cool it was, the build up and everything. Whose videos did you watch the most? Did you watch a breadth of them? Did you focus on Sonic State? Had an absolute insane showing,
they always
man.
do.
Holy God, it was just like
yeah,
nonstop.
Insane.
And they even said they didn't even get to half the synths or something like that.
No, so every year they do that. They do it with NAMM too. They just bombard you with this stuff. I really like the layout this year too, the way they did it.
Cool layout, man. I like the walk-arounds. I like the walk-around. I really liked, actually, the walk-around was almost my favorite part.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I watched Mats.
Mm-hmm.
He's usually on Sonic State. I like him. He's actually a really cool guy. He's a martial artist, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that in.
What genre?
I think Taekwondo. I'm pretty sure that's what he talked about.
He's got that flexibility.
He's a tall dude, man. Like he's like 6 something.
He can head kick me, no problem.
But when you see him like in his studio on Sonic State, he's like he looks like a little short, bald dude. You know what I mean? Like,
but he's got the height.
He's a big guy, yeah. But anyway, I liked his walk around. It was really cool because a lot of people knew him because not just because of Sonic State, but I guess he also works for Stylophone.
Okay, cool company.
Yeah, that's another thing. I wanted that Theremin that they made.
Yeah.
I put it in and they keep sending me emails. It's almost ready. It's almost ready. Bro,
you got pre-order?
Yeah.
The only company allowed to do that is Behringer.
I'm like, where is it?
Yeah. Only Behringer can delay the release.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So, and they weren't at Superbooth, which was kind of shocking.
Weird.
That's why he was walking around. He said, he says, we're not going to be here this year. So that was kind of weird with them. But I enjoyed that because he was going up to different people and talking to them. And he was, he's saying stuff like, I worked with this guy, or I knew this, I know these guys here. I'm going to go talk to them. And then he said, I'll be back. And then we'll chat more. And but what I liked about it is he did show some stuff off, a lot of modular stuff because he's a modular guy.
Yeah.
And I did watch a lot of the Sonic State ones, which I thought was really cool. But then I kept bouncing back and forth. I hate to say it to to Sweetwater. Yeah. Sweetwater did the TEO. Sweetwater did the Polybrute.
Sweetwater's got a great content team, I think.
Yeah.
They're top notch too, man.
Yeah. Well, what's his name? He's awesome.
Daniel Fisher.
Yeah, Daniel Fisher.
He's with the Guile haircut. Legend.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool, man. Very cool.
I almost gave myself a Daniel Fisher today. I was
looking good, bro. I got to cut mine too, man. You cut yours today?
I cut my own hair. So,
dude, me too, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude. I haven't paid for a haircut in years, man. That's like $25 every time in the synth bank.
Oh, easy
peasy. And dude, once you figure it out, you realize you've been getting hoodwinked your whole life.
Yeah.
You're like, dude.
I watched a couple of YouTube videos.
Yeah, me too.
During the pandemic, I couldn't get a haircut.
Yeah.
So I bought a pair of clippers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I could do this. So I watched a couple of YouTube, I botched it one time I gave myself a mohawk, which my wife was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know.
I always switch it up a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. So now I got it down to a science. It's like I use two blades and done.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think, what do I do? I think I do 1/8 on the side. Anyways, I do a mini, kind of like a different length here,
yeah.
and then a different length on the top. It's pretty easy once you get the hang of it.
Yeah. Once you get the hang of it, man, you know. But anyway, see that, everybody in the chat?
That's how you save money. That's how you save money for a TE-05, baby. Is getting your own haircut. That's for sure. I don't cut my missus' hair though. No chance.
Oh no, you don't touch. No, I don't touch. If I touch Laura's hair, she'd kill me.
Yeah, no way, baby, no way.
She let me dye it a couple of times for her because she couldn't reach in the back, so I had to get the back for her. But other than that, I'm like, yeah, I ain't cutting your hair. You know, I'll be sleeping with the fishes. So
what's the top? Okay, give me your top synths for Superbooth. What did you like? We don't need to go crazy about millions of them, but there were so many releases. We've seen most of them before. What stood out to you as like one that you say you got on your gas radar? What was unique and what was disappointing, I guess?
The three that stood out to me, three of them, was the Pittsburgh Mod Voltage Lab.
Oh yeah, baby. 2. Pittsburgh Modular, next level.
Yeah. The other one that stood out to me was the Murmux by Dreadbox.
Dude,
I really like that synthesizer, dude. It's just so big.
I love it.
And it's so expensive.
Dude, and that herring neck carpet on it too.
Oh, it's nice, man. It's like classic, you know.
And the sound.
The sound is crazy.
8 voices, 9 LFOs, 8 LFOs per voice, 1 global, full of effects, bucket brigade, flanger, chorus. Dude, it's out of this world.
And Dreadbox effects are really nice.
And they got a good filter.
Yes. I've always wanted the NYX. I think that's what it's called. The first version. I didn't like the second version.
Oh, the NYX, the NYX or something. Yeah.
When I heard that, the first time I heard that, and they had like a shimmer reverb on there, I was like, oh. But I just, at that time, I couldn't pull the trigger. I didn't have the money at that time. But and the third one would be, I'm looking at the list here, would be the TE-05.
TE-05.
Those are my picks. The Murmux, it's so expensive, it's so big. I can't, and they're limited edition, so you know they're gonna be gone.
They're gone. 300 of them, bro.
That's it?
The 300, that's it, man.
Wow.
Which is kind of sad, you know, but I'm hoping if Dreadbox thinks about it, they'll make a smaller version, you know?
That'd be nice.
It'd be cool if they did a smaller version.
Even if they cut down on the voices, you know what I'm saying? Like,
cut down on the voices.
The sound of it was just amazing.
Dude, they put out that Nymphs. The Nymphs was a 6 voice.
That thing's sick, actually.
I almost bought the Typhon and the Nymphs.
You know, it's funny. I love their stuff.
Yeah, I've never bought it though.
And I'm going to tell you why. One of the biggest reasons why I don't buy it is because it is over in Greece. I've never heard anything bad about Dreadbox. I've always heard good stuff. I know a couple of guitar players that actually own some of their pedals. But if something goes wrong, I mean, how good is their tech support? Who do I ship it to? Do I ship it back to Sweetwater? You know what I mean? I know Sweetwater carries Dreadbox now.
Sweetwater's pretty good, I guess, with the honor system, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like you, always on my radar, but I've never pulled the trigger on one. But the Typhon's only like $320, and that's supposed to be amazing.
Well, what's the other one? The Dreadbox.
You got the Erebus, you got the Abyss, you got.
Is it?
What else you got?
Was it Erebus? Erebus?
Erebus, yeah, Erebus.
Yeah. That one's pretty cool. Nick Bat swears by that thing. He loves that.
Yeah,
thing.
He likes that one. And then they got that effects unit too to go with the. Is it the Abyss effects unit?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
With the spring reverb in it and stuff.
So what did you pick?
For me, man, the Murmucks. So if I had to pick 3 that I really liked, and this might, I like that Love FM little Game Boy thing.
Oh,
did you see that?
Yeah,
I just thought that was kind of cool, for uniqueness. So for something unique that nothing else was like it there, I really like that one. I think it's called Love FM or something like that. I think that's what it's called.
It is, yeah.
The little Game Boy, and it was actually a lot bigger than what I thought. I thought it was small, but when they showed the demo, it was actually a decent size, big, right? Yeah, it's like the size of a book almost. And so I like that. I absolutely love the Polybrute 12. Yep. It's a generic answer, but man, I don't know how anybody couldn't like that. And dude, I've seen people saying that thing sucks, sounds like crap, the color's garbage, and I'm like, man, the cream is beautiful, the sound is amazing, and the thing is absolutely out of this world. So everybody has a different opinion. Well,
the first couple of times I saw demos of it, I was like, okay. But then I watched Bo Beats' demo, and I was like, all right, this sounds
Bo held
decent.
his own on that one,
Yeah.
Sometimes Bo really rushes it. This time I was like, ooh, Bo.
Yeah, it sounded really good.
Some people make synth sound different, right?
Yeah.
Red Means Recording did a live jam. Did you see that one?
Yep, I saw that one.
That was interesting.
That was pretty good. So yeah, no, I have changed my opinion about the Polybrute.
What do you think? Worth 4,000?
No.
Not worth 4. 35?
I would put it in, so
32.
What's the Polybrute? The first one is what, 24?
Around 24, I think, 24, 26 or something like that.
So here's the thing. Pull a Behringer. Drop the Polybrute 1 down a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And then, so drop that down to like 19.
Yeah.
Because this is what they did with the Matrix Brute.
Yeah. They're going to drop it.
And then the Matrix Brute went up to 2,200. And then it dropped back down to 19.
I got to get a Matrix Brute.
Oh, dude, I won't even go there with you.
Yeah, I got to get a Matrix Brute, man. I just love, do you know what the Matrix Brute was? There was 2 synthesizers before I got into synths, and this wasn't that long ago, 2020, 2019, whenever it was. There was 2 synthesizers I was looking to buy. One was the DeepMind module with a MIDI keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 was the Matrix Brute. And the Matrix Brute, there was just something about the size, the flip screen. I was just drawn to it like crazy, right? And I never ever pulled the trigger on it. And I should pull the trigger on it at some point, but man,
if you do, get the Noir.
Oh, Noir all the way. Unless they bring out a cream, baby.
Hey, you never know.
If they bring out a cream, okay, promise you right now, if they bring out a cream Matrix Brute, I'm buying it.
The reason why I bought that was because I couldn't afford to buy a Voyager.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing, if not better than the Voyager.
Mr. Filter Sweep says that the Pro 3 blows the Matrix Brute away. Have you ever played a Pro 3?
I did.
What do you think?
It's pretty nice.
Yeah? I mean, he says basically it's his favorite synth of all time.
It's really nice.
Is it? What's nice about it?
I played it at NAMM. I got a chance to go and demo one of those. It's nice.
Would you trade the Matrix Brute for a Pro 3 right now if I brought one to your house and was like,
no,
trade?
No.
Flip top? Even the flip top?
No.
All right. You're Matrix Brute all the way. That's cool.
Nope. Because I do like it. I get some really weird stuff out of that synthesizer, man.
Is that paraphonic? 4 voice? 2 voice?
It's duophonic.
Duophonic.
Yeah. So and I watched the whole what's his name? Mark Dowdy. He did a whole series on
Legend. I watched those too, dude.
So good. And I learned so much about that.
He's amazing
because of him. Yeah, Mark's cool. And he's cool. I met Mark at NAMM. He's wicked cool.
When it comes to demoing too, man, the guy just goes deep.
Oh, he goes deep.
He's a scuba diver, man.
Dude, he went deep on Volcas.
Yeah. I wonder if he even plays or he just goes deep,
Oh, well, every song that you hear at the beginning of his show is done with just that one synth.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's crazy.
Did you know that?
That's humbling. No, I didn't know that.
So every song he does, it's the same theme song all the time, but it's all done with the one synth that he's actually demoing and doing a tutorial on. No, Mark's very cool, very intelligent, and I mean, he worked for Moog for years.
Yeah.
He bailed, you know, and he ended up working for Buchla.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Wouldn't it be crazy to work for those companies? What do you do for them? Do you know?
I think he did sound design and stuff too.
Crazy. Oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and also part of the marketing team and stuff. I met Mark. He's a super nice guy, and very, very what's the word? Down to earth. Like when I walked over to him and Mr. Suit and Tie guy, he was there, and I walked over to both of them, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Mark, Suit and Tie guy, right?"
Who's Suit and Tie guy? Oh, the suit next to him?
You don't know who Suit and Tie guy is?
No, who's Suit and Tie guy?
Oh, dude, he's a beast.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one who started KnobCon.
Oh, really? Oh, wait, now maybe I do know what. Okay, I think I know what he looks like, but I didn't know him.
He's kind of a heavy set dude, curly hair, and he's got a shirt that looks like a suit and tie.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude.
He wears suit and ties too, but anyway, he's not part of the synth mafia at all.
No?
He says it like it is, and if he doesn't like you, he'll tell you. But the cool thing about those two guys, when I went over to say, "Hey, can I grab a picture of you guys, chat with them for a little bit?" They're like, yeah, come on over, ECHOKRAFT. I'm like, ECHOKRAFT? My badge says J on it.
Oh, so there's new yet?
And so Mark goes, "Yeah, man, I've seen your videos." I went, "Get the fuck!" Like,
that's hilarious, isn't it?
I go, "My videos, man, compared to yours." I'm like, and he goes, Don't. He goes, "Don't put yourself down." He goes, "I watched your stuff, man." I'm like, "Wow, that's really cool." It's very humbling. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's cool stuff, man. Because like you said, you always feel like you're just like we talked about, you're just doing it. You're just fooling around. We're just fooling around. That's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's like a new way of doing stuff. You know, who would have thought you could just have fun and talk about synths and there'd be no strings attached? Who thought it would be a thing?
Well, it's funny because back in the old days, like, you know, I'm old. So, I mean, back in the olden days, you know, you didn't have the internet. You didn't have social media. Back in the 1700s.
Yeah,
man. You know, so you
El Vampiro, man.
You walked down from the castle and you walked into, like, you know, the local loot shop, and, you know, you picked up a lute and started playing it. You know, next minute, you know, there's other guys in there playing lutes. You know what I mean? So
that's cool. One of the coolest Arturia Polybrute videos I saw was that guy we checked out. Remember, I was like, how'd this cat pick up a Polybrute? Remember, it was kind of just like it was nowhere, no face, no nothing. And we did a little research, and I ended up chatting to him a little bit in the comments of one of his videos. So I went and checked out some of his stuff. And he just was doing his thing forever. And suddenly Arturia just was like, "You want to do some sound design for us?" So he was involved in some of the sound design on the Polybrute. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, very cool. And that was a really good video.
It was a cool video because I was like, whoa, now. Because I was like, who got their hands on a Polybrute outside of the...
He had like, what, 800 subscribers?
Yeah. And I was like, something isn't adding up here. Something isn't adding up.
But he worked on... what was it? It's a new show that's on Netflix. It's the game Fallout.
Okay, yeah.
He worked on the show Fallout. He's worked on a couple of movies.
That's cool.
So he's a big hitter when it comes to. I guess he's done stuff for the Cannes Film Festival. So I mean, the guy's a big hitter.
Yeah, I wish I remembered his name. I can't remember his name. He's low key. Yeah. Can't remember his name either.
See if I can find it.
Find it while we're shooting off. Yeah, shout out to him, man. What a cool. Probably again, that was probably the most interesting Polybrute video I saw by far. So while you're looking that up, what do you think was the? Do you think it was like? Would you have liked to seen Roland there? Would you have liked to seen what were you kind of disappointed that something didn't happen or seen besides you know who?
I don't understand why Roland wasn't there.
Me neither, man.
I couldn't figure that out. And then, you know, you had Korg roll out a black and white keyboard.
Dude, come on, man.
I like stuff like that.
I like the look of it.
Yeah.
But what's the deal?
I don't know.
Who's buying that?
Watch this. Going back to Moog, how many versions of the mini log can we come out with?
What are you doing though?
I don't know.
But what are you doing? I don't even understand that.
They came out with the one that was red and black and called it the bass synth when all it was a Moog. It had a couple of different patches in it.
Oh,
not
the
a
mini,
Moog.
The mini log.
Mini log. Yeah, mini log. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's just
I got Moog on the brain now. I'm sorry.
I don't understand what. Do you think they ordered a bunch of keys and they? Okay, this is what happened. Actually, this is what happened. So Korg ordered a shipment from China of white and black keys.
And they got screwed up.
And the Chinese company sent the reverse. So they mixed up the translation, the Japanese Chinese, and they sent the black keys were white, the white keys were black. So you know what? Korg took lemons and made lemonade is what they did. They were like, all right, what are we gonna do? All right, so
no, that's not it. What I think is Korg does stuff like this. So there was so many iterations of the micro Korg. They did the black and red.
Yeah.
They did all black. What was the other one they did?
They did the crystal and the white.
They had a crystal, they had a white. The white one had speakers. I had the gold one. There was one that was gold and brown.
Yeah.
Then there was a silver one. So they did all these iterations. The micro Korg that's kind of like Korg's mini Moog. It's like that synth is never going to go away. I think they dropped the ball on the micro Korg 2, version 2, the Mark II. Why wasn't that being shown?
It's weird. Very weird.
Right? And they had a really tiny.
They were there.
They had a tiny bubble. It was a little bubble booth.
I like that little bubble. Actually, I might try to get one of those.
But they didn't.
I was like, I should get one of those.
Put it on your backyard.
I know. I was like, I should get one of those things.
But no, like I just didn't understand it. Like I was like, what are these guys doing? And then Roland never showed.
Disappointing. Korg kind of disappointing. I guess Korg was basically there to do the PS 3300. What are they? Is that what it's called? The big, huge beast?
All right. So that's another thing. It's in a glass case.
So you can't even play it.
You know, the last time when they were at NAMM with it, when they first showed it off, you had to have an appointment to go in and play it.
Who's buying it?
I don't know. What's it? $8,000?
14.
$14,000?
Yeah, bro. $13.99.
Dude, come on, man.
I think it's insane, dude. There's something going on there. It's it's like what all the elites do with art. So they'll buy like an art piece for $20 million, so then they can write it off as a $20 million investment and write it off and get it. You know, that's how they do all their taxes. Just huge scam, right? Huge money scam. I'm wondering if synthesizers are the same, actually, because if you start using these expensive synthesizers as art pieces. Maybe that's what's going on.
Collectors. I
think that's what's going on, bro.
But if I was to buy one, I'd be like calling up Korg going, okay, so you know the glass case that it was in at Superbooth? I want that too for $14,000. So I'm just going to show it off. I'm not going to play it.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting the MS, the MS5 just as a furniture piece for the living room. I'm just putting that in the living room, dude. I might have to call in that order and cut it off now, because I should cut that off. I should flog the MPC, get $500 for the MPC. That's $500. That's a G there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right. I know it's not gonna happen, but we'll see.
If we make it to Superbooth next year, dude. Before we go, real quick, or before we go on to the next topic,
hold on one second. Yeah. I found it. Michael, it's Michael Gear or GR? Jerry? It's Geyre. Designer.
Send it to me in a text message.
All right.
Michael Geary. Yeah, I'll throw it in the chat for Boz. Check it out.
Hold on. Go ahead.
What do you guys think in the chat, man? We got DJ Doggy Dad. We got Frank Manhands. That's a big name, man. I like that. Frank Manhands. That's pretty cool. We got Tom Servos in the house. We got Bitter Man. We got Oop Oop. We got Christopher Gwynn. We got, who else we got in here? We got Mr. Filter Sweep still on the go. He's up in his camp right now, hunting bears. We got Hayes Anderson still rolling deep.
Yeah.
Uncle Jerry's on the go. Did you pre-order the Cyma Alt? So someone's asked if I pre-ordered the Cyma Alt. What happened with the Cyma Alt was I set my alarm for 11:55. I had PM instead of AM. I was talking to Echo, and I friggin' looked at my clock.
It was
like
fault.
12:30, and I missed the friggin' thing. So I wrote Simon Form and said, can I get in on that first round? Because, you know, I got a little bit of a modest budget, and I can't really afford the next one. And then I kind of felt bad because I looked at the next one. It was only like $150 more. So that's kind of dirtbaggish. So then I was like, man, maybe just step back on this. But I do want it, and I want it bad. I want it more than anything.
It's really cool. I'd put that up there with the Murmux.
It's like a revolutionary, interesting synthesizer, in my opinion. I think it's once they get it all worked out, I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, like we said, we were watching the video. We were like, you know, man, you could do a whole show just with that piece.
I know, dude. I just want to do like a soundscape. Yeah, Edge. Yeah, hook that up CV to that Edge.
Yeah,
dude,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah,
you know.
So yeah, I didn't get that, you know, I didn't get that. That's super annoying. And that was actually, so that was my top synth of Superbooth would be the Alt and the Murmix. That's my top two. And the Polybrute was like, I wish I could get that because it's just so awesome. Although I don't know about those air vents. They kind of freak me out a little bit on the back. I'm like, if it gets that hot, I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, excuse me, my DeepMind 12 has a fan in it.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because as big as the Matrix Brute is, the Matrix Brute doesn't have a fan in it. So I don't, I don't know. But from what I understand, those vents is 4 fans in there, or 1 big fan. I'm not sure yet. I think it was on Gearspace. They said it had 4 fans. One dude said it was just god awful, ugly, and huge.
I know, dude. A lot of people hated it. Dude. A lot of people hated it.
Well, you know, Nick Batt surprised me. He said we didn't give the Polysynth Award to the Polybrute 12. We gave it to the TE-05 because the TE-05 is innovative in a few things.
Interesting.
So I thought that was interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah. That
means they really like the TE-05 then.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I want to check more out on that TE-05 because I personally think that that's a very smart move by Sequential and Oberheim. I think it's a smart move.
Dave Smith and Tom Oberheim, that, you know, they've worked a few different projects together.
Yeah.
And when they do, they always make good stuff. Unfortunately, Dave is gone. You know, he was incredible. I met him too.
That's cool, man.
Man, I just wish you were there.
I would love been there.
So that year at NAMM, I was gone 2 times before that. No, 1 time before that. And that year I met everybody except Sonic State guys.
Did they go?
The funniest thing is, the funniest thing is my wife and I are sleeping. It's 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm hearing people, our room was at the Marriott and was right on the bottom floor, and the pool, you could just open my slider and go right out to the pool.
Bourgeois, baby.
I'm hearing splashing and laughing, and well, they picked up Mark Dowdy and threw him in the pool. Sonic State was in my hotel.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I hear all these British voices and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on? And then I hear, Mark, and I look out, and it's all lit up. The pool's all lit up.
Yeah.
And I look out the curtain, and I'm going, Laura, Sonic State's out there. And she's like, well, go out. Go hang with them. I'm like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, man. I'm like, they were gone, dude. They were all lit.
Man, they were probably on that Carlsberg.
They were having fun, man.
Yeah.
You know,
which is cool, man.
It was cool, yeah.
One of the funny things when we were listening to Sonic State this morning, they were saying how a couple of the things at Superbooth, and I took a couple notes because I thought it was absolutely mental, because they start a Twitch stream half hour before they start the YouTube stream, which is weird.
That's right. So which is weird.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. I don't know. I want to ask them, but they probably never answer. But anyways, I'd like to know why. But they said that they had to close down everything at 8 p.m. because of the frogs. So the environmentalists said that it was the frogs' mating season.
I can't even, dude.
And they wouldn't allow the synthesizer sounds or whatever the heck was going on, because it disturbed the frogs' breeding or mating or birthing or whatever, right? Or it was the toads. Sorry, the toads.
Toads.
And I thought that was crazy. Then they also said that
the beer was wicked expensive.
The beer price was super expensive. You had to pay an extra $3 every beer you bought unless you brought the bottle back to them.
And the beer lines were super long.
So the greenies are just running amok with Superbooth, I guess. And the beer lines were super long. They had like, because the Germans are actually super smart with engineering. So you think they would have engineered a better beer serving apparatus. But apparently it was like one person pours the beer, hands it to the next lady with the cup. She takes the cup, hands it to the next lady. The next lady hands the cup to the next lady and the next lady. And then they hand it out this little window. Isn't that nuts?
They should have just built a giant dome over the Toad infirmary.
Bro, listen, that's why I said, man, we got to start a super booth in America with good beers.
Well, I mean,
food trucks galore.
We definitely have to go to the next New England Synth Fest.
Did that pass? I didn't see a video. I didn't hear a thing. Yeah. Did you see anything?
It was Saturday.
Did you see anything from it though?
No, you never do.
Dude, that's got to get bigger. So we need to do something to put that more on the map, content-wise.
So where they have it, there's a store. It's an electronics store in Waltham.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know why they moved it there. They call it the Synth Cube.
I think they got something contract happened with the old place they were in or something, I read.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but like they were having it at the old Microsoft building in Burlington.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because there's tons of parking and it's a big, wide open conference room.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been. My buddy Jimmy keeps trying to get me to go. He's like, you got to get ECHOKRAFT to go to this. You've been involved in the synthesizer community for years. You're one of New England's synth guys. Nobody knows about you in the synth community in New England.
It's gonna go next year, man.
Well, so here's the thing. They don't do it every year. They do it like 2 or 3 times a year.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Interesting.
So the last one they did was at the Museum of Science in Boston.
Okay.
So that one's supposed to be really cool too.
Let's hit the next one then.
Yeah, we should definitely do it, man. We'll wear Synth Samurai shirts or something.
Oh, bro, full kayfabe. I'm saying we bring the whole WWE to the synth world, man. We gotta get the characters out. This is
just like walk in like, who the frig are these guys?
We got ECHOKRAFT, El Vampirio, La Blanca, right?
Like seriously, like Jimmy, my friend Jimmy's like, he's my social media guy. He's like, do this. Okay. And I do it and I usually get successful with it. He's very good at this stuff. So he's like, man, he says, you and this guy, Synth Samurai, he goes, are you doing the show now? He goes, you and this guy got to go do that. And I'm like, man. I know I want to. And he goes, no, you got to. He goes, because you guys, it'll blow your channel up too, because you'll get lot more followers, So I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I had to work that day and there was no way, the way things were going in work.
Yeah,
there's
got to plan it out better. Got to plan it out better. Next time, for the next one, this is what I got envisioned mentally. Go out to the next one. Hopefully it's in an area with some more parking because Flanagan Letworks, Synth Seeker, said that he knows a guy there and they can arrange something, but the parking scenario is horrible at this one, apparently, right?
Yeah.
But my whole idea is to go out there, do a little tailgate scenario, set up a couple chairs, get the big banner, do a little show together, outdoors. If anyone wants to come over and have a chat and sit down and talk about what they got on the go, we'll go inside, film some content, have a laugh.
That'd be cool.
Maybe bring a friggin' barbecue there, cook up some weenies, something like that.
Some sausages.
Yeah, dude. Classic New England style football tailgate, synth style,
That'd be cool.
I think it'd be cool.
But like Jimmy, like this guy told you, like my friend Jimmy said, he said, because he's been there, he builds pedals. I told you he's called Pedalcade. He builds guitar pedals.
Sweet.
And he goes to that store to buy parts. But they have other things there too.
We should just go check it out. We should go check it out sometime.
I'd like to, man, because they also sell knobs, and you know how I am about knobs right now. I'm on a knob kick.
Man, you're the knob king at the moment.
Dude, you got to see this.
You got a bag?
So my friend John told me to stay away from Alibaba.
No way, bro.
And I can't help myself.
Dude, listen. Temu, Alibaba,
cheap, man.
let it rip, man.
So I bought these knobs. I don't know if you can see them.
Okay. Is that the little chicken heads?
No. These are tiny.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you got to be careful when you buy knobs.
Let's hear it, man.
Because there's a difference between a 90 degree and a 180 degree.
Mm-hmm.
So these are 90s, and 90s means that if it's a D pole, so you know what that is, right?
Yep.
So the shaft is like, if it's not completely round, it's shaped like a D.
Yeah.
When you put it on, it really doesn't work right. So these were a waste of money. They were $8 for 40.
Mm-hmm.
I got them in all kinds of cool colors and orange. And as I got them in orange, because I was like, oh, cool. I'll put these on, I don't know, whatever, just to make it look different, Plus, they're really tiny. They look bigger in the picture.
I want to get a bunch of white ones for the wave state.
Ooh. So the white ones, the ones that I put on my on the donor,
mm-hmm.
I messaged that guy on Alibaba. He's really cool. He said, yeah, you want a batch? You want 100 white ones? I'll send you 100 white ones.
Oh, sweet.
He said, just leave a decent comment. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome.
So I'll order them. I'll give you half of them because I'm not going to use them all.
That's a deal, bro.
Yeah. And dude, they're like $20 for 100 knobs.
Yeah.
And they're the Arturia kind. They're kind of rubbery.
Yeah. I like those ones.
They feel really nice and they look sharp.
I like the rubbery ones, man. And hey, you did that video on the liquid stands. Great video on the liquid stands. Those stands look solid, man.
It is. I'm blown away by it.
Yeah, very cool.
So I have my Osmos over there now. It used to be behind me, but I had to open up that space because I got drawers over there and I'm like reaching over the Osmos to, I'm like, I'm going to knock this thing over.
No, bro, you got to put that in a nice spot.
So it's perfect right where it is. It's by the window now.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole studio is just like a round keyboard area. Yeah,
you got a cool setup going on there now.
Yeah, I gotta have you over here, dude.
Yeah, man, we do a jam, do a little,
definitely gonna have you over here. That'd be cool,
dude. I think we're almost getting enough. I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of people in the chat too, are from the Northeast. I'd say next year, man, things go well, we could probably get a little meetup going somewhere, a little event going, a little planned meetup, man, where we all get together.
That'd be cool.
Do something like that.
That would be really cool.
Actually think it out and get it together. The Kumites going fucking really good.
Yeah.
Having a great time with that.
The Kumite is awesome, man.
Kumite is nuts.
I can't believe, like, I listen to all this different music and I just sit there and I go, wow, it's really cool how you started this. And I mean, you blow my mind, dude. Like when I first met you too, I'm like, this guy just like thinks stuff and he's like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just so cool because I'm a little bit the same way. I procrastinate a lot, but I mean, for the most part, I do like put my foot down. I'm going to do something, when I have like a leave of absence in work, they call it an accommodation because of my health.
Mm-hmm.
So I put my mind to it. I said, well, if I can't go to work every day, I'm gonna work on my YouTube channel, man. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna work on my music. And that's what I've been doing every single Wednesday and Thursday. Boom, I'm in the studio.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
It was hot as balls out today too, so it was great being in the studio with the air conditioner on, and I was just doing my thing.
Oh, you got the AC going, baby? I don't got mine in yet.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, where I used to live, we had one in the window.
Oh yeah.
And we had fans everywhere.
Yeah,
I live here. It's central, so
that's kind of nice. That's nice, man. Real nice.
Cool. It is nice because I was dying.
I'm sweating here right now, bro.
Bro, people would come in my studio in my old apartment.
I like it though.
And they'd be like, yeah, I got to go out in the living room for a little while, man. Like they would
I like sweating. You know, one of the feelings I like the most is sitting down with a pair of shorts on, no shirt, on like a fake leather couch. And it's like 80, 90 degrees and you just like, you try to sit, but you keep sliding.
Damn.
When I lived in Korea, that's what they gave us. So it's just like nostalgia.
I thought you were going to say like, like sitting outside on a 90-degree day.
Oh, I like that too.
I love that.
I prefer to sweat always.
My wife and I love the heat. Like when we went to Nashville, it was like 100 degrees there a couple of days. And we're walking around the streets of Bear, right? We're walking around, Laura and I are like, this is awesome, right? And so we go into this restaurant and this guy goes like this, he goes, you guys aren't from around here, are you? Like, there's nobody in the restaurant, dude, right?
Yeah.
We're like, no, we're from New England. I go, it's cold up where we're from, right? And they're like, yeah, we could tell because there's nobody walking around the streets today. You know?
Yeah,
they don't laughing.
They don't like the heat, man.
They don't like the heat, man.
I love the heat. When I go down to Mrs. House in the summer, I just like outside, pure.
It's great.
Right in the sun. Love it, man. And
I love it.
I love the sun too. It's the best. But did you watch that video I sent you a little while ago? That one on Rogan with Terrence.
No,
the actor. I can't remember. You got to watch that because there's a part. There's a part in that I wanted to talk to you about, but I want you to watch it first. I threw it in the Discord for everyone to watch too, but no one commented on it yet. And it's actually, dude, when you watch it, it's mind blowing. So one of the parts in it, I want to tell you this one little part. He was talking about how circuitry and how this, when we were just talking about the Polybrute and how it can get so hot, the Polybrute 12. Yeah. He was saying that the math in the circuits now, because the circuit goes up, hits a corner, over, because it's all done in straight lines like that, right?
Right.
And it creates such heat every time it bangs that corner and has a change of direction. And it's doing that so much inside the circuit. The new patents he's got on circuits are all spiral.
Really?
So there's no heat generated.
Wow.
Yeah, and the amount of power you can have operating now with he's got like 60 patents out. Man, you got to listen to it. I won't get into it. And anyone in the chat, what's the name of the guy? Terrence what?
You got Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard on Joe Rogan. It's 3 hours. I've listened to it twice now, and I'm going to listen to it one more time because the information is so heavy and mind-blowing. I almost think his information is going to end up changing the future of the world. Put it that way. It's that big time of info.
Well, the funny thing about circuits, I mean, and frequencies is, I mean, think about it. They've been around longer before synthesizers ever came out. I mean, you know, people like Moog, actually, they're the ones that harnessed the sound of a sine wave. You know, sine wave is the most common waveform. And these guys harness that stuff and turn it into notes. Like,
it's insane.
What do you think about that? It's like insane. You know what I mean? Like,
well, bro, so, Terrence Howard is saying that I'll butcher it, but basically each element in the periodic table has a frequency the same as like a piano note, right?
Right.
So this could be wrong, but hydrogen would be an E note, right? And they all have certain frequencies that all line up with the frequencies of your body as well, right? So the periodic table, the way he's got it worked out, it basically what the deal is everything is baloney. Everything you've ever been taught and learned is all it's all gate kept by a bunch of people who have so much invested in it that they will not allow this stuff to come out, because if they do that, then everything that they've done is nothing anymore. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But this is going to get, you watch it. We'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
No, I'll definitely watch some. So you said 3 hours long?
Pick away at it. Watch an hour here, an hour there.
Yeah, I'll watch an hour when we get off tonight. That'll be cool.
Yeah, dude. It's cool. Yeah. It's cool. Some people think it's baloney, but man, when you go on there and you're listening to them, most people who say it's baloney didn't listen. Dude, you know those people? They're like, it's baloney, that's bull, that's crap, that's bit. And it's like, did you listen? It's like, I didn't listen. It's like, listen, I can't have the conversation until you listen.
Well, that's like people who said that Einstein was an idiot.
Yeah. You know, and apparently, Terrence Howard says he is.
Wow.
Wait till you get into it, brother.
All right, I'm gonna check.
Oh my God.
Albert Einstein's one of my favorites. I have a book of called Einstein's Dreams, because he used to write all his dreams down. Very interesting, very compelling.
Well, apparently him and Newton, man, were some scoundrels.
Really?
Apparently Einstein's missus was the one with the brains, not old Albert. But
well, that's like Thomas Edison. He was kind of a dick from what everybody says. So
yeah.
Stealing Tesla's patents and stuff like that. And
well, how about the whole? Someone just threw it in the comments. How about the whole 440 hertz thing? Yeah. Do you know where with the actual Rothschilds? I think it was it was either the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. One of those groups went and commandeered that sound and changed the frequency on the radio, the standard frequency, to be 440 hertz, which is, what is that known as, the devil's frequency? It's disruptive to your body's cells and things, you know?
It's funny because that's how you tune things. That's how you tune an instrument, to 440.
And what's the God frequency? 432 or something?
I don't know, dude.
I think it's 432. When you do 432, did you ever go watch those YouTube videos where they put the sand on a vibrational plate, and when they tune it to 440, it basically, the pattern's not there anymore. It's ugly. When they tune it to 432 or these intervals of the God frequency, it turns into these geometric shapes.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I should try tuning one of my guitars to that.
Dude, I think we can tune our synths to it.
I think you can, yeah. That's what...
Tune them all to 432, man, and just sound bath it like that video you sent me with all those dudes lying on the floor.
Like, you might do that and all of a sudden turn around and there might be an angel standing behind you. Dude,
I think something would open up. Yeah.
You're like, yo, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like, hey, close that door. We're busy here. Who were those dudes lying on the floor doing the synthesizer bath?
I don't know, man.
Where was that?
So that's it. That's at Vintage King.
Okay.
The store.
Where, Portland or somewhere?
I forget it. I don't, it might be in California. Is it in California? I'm not sure, but they have these, I don't know what they want to call them, it's like a yoga thing, but it's through sound.
Yeah.
And they meditate, and you know, if you're laying on the floor and you listen to a synthesizer, I'll just going,
just droning.
You know, it's like, I don't know, man. You know, I guess I know there's certain frequencies that you can tune to, you know, the human body to and stuff, and the heals and all that. And I totally believe in stuff like that. But, if knowing me, I'd be laying there and some guy would fart and I'd just start laughing my ass off. You know what I mean? Like, you're hearing, and then all of a sudden you hear, you know what I mean? And
then that scent starts to come, right? You know?
So when I sent you that, because I was laughing, I'm going, people are really buying into this. Come on.
People will buy into anything.
And how smelly would that room be?
Depends, man, if they had that central air or not, you know? If they had the old samurai fan, man, that would get stinky in there.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
So one of the boys said they got all their synths tuned to 432.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to check that out.
I want to check it out too.
And
that's interesting.
Yeah. See if we can tune all these to 432, God knows what'll happen, man.
I'd be interested to hear what that sounds like.
Yeah. But, dude, I can't wait for you to watch that video.
I
just want to know what you think. The way I look at everything is this is the way I look at everything, and you tell me what you think about this. I'm at the point now where I realize that I don't know anything, you know? I know about some things, but in the overall grand picture, there's not really much that I really know anymore. And I realized a lot of things that I thought I knew really weren't true. And one of the biggest examples I'll give you of that is when I traveled and went to Vietnam. I went to the Vietnam War Museum. And when I went into that museum, which is like overwhelmingly emotional, it's out of this world insane. But when I went into the Vietnam War Museum, the Vietnamese war history in that museum is the opposite of the American war history and Canadian in the West, right? And that was the first time in my life. It was probably 2024 when I went there. And that's the first time I realized, wow, everything I was taught and learned was made by somebody who wanted me to think this certain way, whether it's right or wrong. So they wanted me to take this information, and that's how I needed to think, and that's how I needed to tell people I knew it, you know? This is right. This is what I know. When I went over there and went through that museum, I was like, this is the opposite.
Well, yeah.
So it has to be somewhere in between here, and I'll never, ever know that. So that's not right. That's not right. It's somewhere in the middle here. But if you got the two groups that were involved in this with two opposite stories of what happened, what else is going on? And then a light bulb went off, and I was like, man, I don't know anything. And that's when I started like really
So
questioning everything. And
I know we're getting off topic here, but do you know anybody, like my dad was a World War II vet. And you know, he never really talked about the war much, but to my sisters, but he did to me, I guess maybe because I was a boy. And you know, we'd be sitting there watching TV and we'd be watching a war movie. And he'd look at me and he'd laugh. And I'm like, what's funny, Dad? And he'd be like, that would never happen. He goes, they make these things look so like, you know, this, and this happened. And these guys were heroes. And he goes, let me tell you something. He says, when you're being shot at, he said, or you're being told to go take over something. He said, there are no heroes really.
Yeah.
He says, you become a hero when you save your friends. He says, but when you go and do that and there's bullets flying over your head and one hits your buddy and kills him next to you, he goes, they're not going to show you that.
Crazy.
He goes, they're going to show you what you feel. They're not going to show you what you think.
Yeah.
You know, he goes, and they're not going to show you how it started. And for my old man to say shit like that, dude, my mother sometimes would look over at me and be like, wow, he never talks about this stuff.
But isn't that wild though?
Well, it's because, you know, everything that we see and everything that we know about, like, you know, my father always laughed at Hollywood, laughed at Hollywood movies because they never were factual. They would always embellish. And I get it. It was pure entertainment to make your mind wander and think about things. And, you know, when you start realizing even like about Egyptian history and stuff like that, I'm a big Egyptian history guy. And when you start seeing what the truth is and like things that are being discovered now, then they're actually letting it out.
Do you ever look into Graham Hancock stuff? Fingerprints of the Gods, Graham Hancock's work.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it. I've never read that.
You'd like that.
But some of the stuff that they're discovering now and that and you know, some people are like, oh, that's conspiracy theory stuff. I'm like, but is it like,
I think what's wrong with just exploring ideas and not throwing that label out on somebody because it goes against because guess what? Maybe it might be, maybe it might not be. But like we were just saying, there's alternative storylines in every avenue of every single area of your life, whether it's science, mathematics, politics, music, Hollywood, history, all of these things. You only know what you know because somebody made a book and then some adult put it in front of you and fed it to you and you remembered it and now you're feeding it in this cycle, but you don't know if it's really the story or not. Right?
And every time somebody goes against what the grain that you were told, you know, they're conspiracy theorists or they're trying to sway you or they're a cult or it's like, well, no, maybe they're just trying to get some other message out there, man, that some other information that we don't know about that we should know about. Yeah. You know, like I get that. Like I had a friend of mine give me, I don't know if you ever heard of this book and I laughed at it. It's this thick. I read half of it and I threw it out. I said, I can't read. This is garbage. It's the Book of the Illuminati.
Okay. Yeah.
And part of me was fear.
Yeah.
But the other part of me realized how much nonsense it was. And one of the biggest things that really upset me about it is when this guy's explaining in the book that what you see in front of you, and he's in Egypt, he's looking at the pyramids. What you see in front of you, those aren't real. They're not there. They were never there.
So he's just saying it's an illusion?
Sort of, kind of. So because it was put into your mind, you were told that it was there, so it's really there. So I sat there, right, and I'm reading this garbage, right? And I said this to a buddy of mine. I said, this is garbage, dude. Like, I got, listen, whoever, and dude, this is a multi-billion-dollar selling book, right?
Yeah.
And I said, this is garbage. I go, because I'm going to tell you something. If I run as hard as I can, and I'm going to bump into that fucking thing that you're telling me is not there.
Well, listen,
it's going to hurt.
Did you?
I go, so that thing is really there. this is bull.
Well, did you, just to counter off on that, did you ever hear the story of the tribe who couldn't see the ships coming? So it was the bunch of islanders who lived on an island, an old school tribe, and there was a boat out in the sea, and they've never seen a boat in their entire life. So they couldn't see the boat because they never knew what a boat looked like that. They didn't have that in their psyche.
That conception.
So when they looked in the ocean, they just saw the ocean. They couldn't see the boat. And then the boat came in and came in and came in. And then the boys came off the boat and came up on the island. It was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Well, I can understand that, but don't tell me.
I'm not saying that what that dude is saying about the pyramids is legit.
Don't tell me the pyramids aren't there. Stop it.
They're there, and they're there. Okay, so maybe this. Since that book is about the you-know-what.
Oh, it's definitely demonology, dude. So, there's no question.
Yeah, and they're into that. We know they're into that. So what the deal is maybe that book is to make you get your scent off of the trail of what the pyramids actually are and who actually made them. And you know what I mean? So it's a way for the deceiver to throw you off of the road to truth, if you know what I mean.
Road to truth. So here's exactly. So here's my theory was after I read some of that book, and I said, you know what this is? This is to crush everything that I was taught as a child and deprogram me and then reprogram me.
Yeah. So almost like a weird kind of initiation into a self-reprogramming via, because do you ever think when they say words, what are words? Words are, what is it called? Spelling, right? So you break that down. What are words? Spelling, spell, S-P-E-L, spell, to cast a spell. So when you're reading things, if someone writes a word, those words are spelling. That's a spell being casted on you, whether it's a good one or a you-know-what one, right?
It's just very interesting. And you could say that about any book.
Exactly. You know, in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I know what that was trying to do. And I said, no. And maybe
this out of here.
Maybe,
yeah.
You know, I was, like I said, I was in fear of what I was reading, but I always was taught, even as a kid growing up, that when your gut talks to you, chances are you should listen. And my gut was telling me that this is nonsense and evil and to disperse of it. And I did. Well,
bro, let me tell you something, man. When I was over in Korea, I had a little bit of free time and I started reading, books all about the occult and everything and learning about it. Cause I was curious about it as I was really reading other books. You know, I was reading religious books and stuff, and I just ordered a ton of them. And I started reading about Aleister Crowley, and I started reading about that a little bit. And then I got into reading about astral travel and how to like create an out-of-body experience and the steps you do. And so I started messing around with it a little bit, right? So one day I was lying on the floor of my bedroom, and I was following the breathing steps and the imagery that they said. You picture this silver ball, and you're gonna, you know, it's moving up and down your body, and you just keep your breathing going, and then eventually your body will go like this, and you'll separate. And usually what happens in the first little bit, when you separate, it is terrifying, and usually you zap right back in, right?
Yep.
I separated, brother, and I was like, yeah, I'm done with this now. You know, I was like, this is going into an area where I don't know if this is in my head here now, or I don't know what's going on, but I don't feel that I am, let's just say, I don't feel like I'm spiritually ready to be wandering off into the Neverland, you know, at the moment.
Technically, I don't think we're supposed to be screwing around with shit like that.
Well, and if you are, you might as well have the archangel on your back, you know, saying, hey, brother, will you take me for a little journey over here so I can check out what's happening? You know, you don't just like go off half-cocked as a young buck trying to explore the astral realm, you know?
And I'm laughing as you're telling me this because I have had friends that have dabbled in that.
It's the dark arts, bro. It's the dark arts.
Yeah. And I never did. I mean, I dabbled. You know, I was in a heavy metal band and we were into all that devil worship crap. But I always, because of the way I was brought up, the first tattoo I ever got was a cross on my arm.
That's because you're a daywalker, brother.
Well, you can call me whatever you want, man. I just know that I always was protected and from that stuff. My mom used to tell me all the time, you know, when you get the fear of God put in you, that's all you need, you know, and that's the truth. You know?
I mean, at this stage in the game, it's pretty obvious that there's two teams. And I ain't talking about earthly teams either. It seems like there's two teams operating, and you know,
there's some crazy stuff going on.
It's getting wild, and I think it's going to get wilder and wilder. And just to get back out of that, you know, far off conversation we're getting into, just to roll it back for a minute, I think that there's so much stuff going to be happening in the next 5 to 10 years that are going to really shake the foundations of people's understanding of everything, you know?
Yeah.
In a good, right. I mean, in a good way, in a good way, in a way that has to happen. You know, because it's been guarded and we've been stuck. Like I'm assuming that we are basically 1,000 years behind where we should be right now, due to being having a false ceiling put on our progress.
Well, right now, I feel progress is going backwards when it comes to technology. I think we're going forwards, but I think as far as mankind is, they're trying to put us back in the dark ages. They're
using technology as a prison rather than
it's kind of messed up. Yeah, and I think that's weird. What happened to Moog.
That's what happened to Moog, baby. So we know that now, you know. That's a good way to end it, man. Listen, Moog, get your stuff together. We love you. Echo loves you. I love you. The Samurais in the chat and the Echo. What do you got? What are the Echoes? I love it. Stir of Echoes. You watched that movie with Kevin Bacon?
Well, that's a good movie.
That's a good movie. Scary back in the day.
Well, I could just say that we're all captains of our own craft.
I like it, baby. I like it a lot. And let's call it a night, man. It's a good podcast. I actually absolutely enjoyed it. I got to say it every time, man. It's a pure pleasure doing this. I'm humbled that you come on and we get to have this chat.
Dude, I love doing this.
And I love it too. I look forward to it too.
Every other Wednesday, I like I said to you today, I couldn't wait to do this tonight. You know, this is good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. And I want to see that space filled with that TE-05. Because if you get the TE-05, you already got me. You got me gassing for the Osmos. Mr. Filter Sweep got me gassing for the Pro 3. Myself, I'm gassing for, I don't know what, pretty much everything I look at, I gas for. So if you get the TE-05, I might have to pop over and check that out.
Well, the gas radar is always up, and you know that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you know, it's like a beacon that comes up behind my head and just kind of goes like this, you know.
I love it, man. Isn't the most exciting community going, the synth community? And I think
so.
I think so too. And I think it's getting more exciting. I think it's like we were just saying, there's some new things happening, and also I feel like a lot of the new things happening are bringing some old school ideas back. Well, you know, refocusing and exciting.
And I'll be honest with you. Like I look at like I play guitar, right? I have guitars. The cool thing about guitars is that there's always a pedal to change that sound, right?
Love that, man.
But a guitar is just a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
A synthesizer can be anything you want it to be. So sonically, a synthesizer, to me, has much more imagination and I mean, don't get me wrong. There's some great guitar players out there. I know a couple of them, but the things that you can do with the synthesizer.
There's nothing quite like it.
And then you hook up a pedal to a synthesizer.
And then you get 6 or 7 synthesizers.
Or you hook up a guitar to a synthesizer.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so many avenues that synthesizers can do that, I mean, look at Switched On Bach. I mean, you know, Wendy Carlos created a whole orchestra with a modular synthesizer.
Completely insane.
Yeah. You know?
That's cool, man.
Yeah, but listen, I don't know.
We'll see, baby. We'll see. I think you should get it. I think you should get it. My gut's telling me that synth is going to be something special. And if the synth father Nick Batt says it is, you best believe it is.
Which is kind of interesting.
Right? That's a big endorsement. Especially when they're sponsored by Arturia.
That's true.
Do you know?
That's true. When he said that at the end of the show, I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
But I think synth company of the whole thing is Pittsburgh Modular. For me, what they're doing, they're really
Oh, there's very Rich is very innovative.
Good content too.
Yeah.
Keeping the community engaged, keeping the customer base feeling it, doing lots of live streams, jams. It's cool.
I just think that the price of that is a little pricey, but
it's pricey.
Yeah. What's the price of that?
$2,000, over $2,000.
Yeah, it's like 20. Isn't it 23 or something?
Yeah,
like
it's like above 2.
Yeah,
like 23. I can't.
Yeah,
I just can't do it. I can't do it.
But like the TE-05 or the Pro 3. How much is the Pro 3? That's
Pro 3 is, I think, new is. It's got to be over 2, isn't it? Mr. Filter Sweet knows. He might be sleeping now.
What's the Take 5 at? The Take 5's around the same price. Isn't it like 14?
Yeah, Take 5, I think. And obviously, they must be doing that. It's a little cheaper than the TE-05, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, we'll see, man.
We'll see. It's exciting.
I'm still paying off the Osmos, but we'll see what happens.
Dude, well, I'll tell you, the track you made in the Kumite with that was awesome. I know you were like, dude, that's just a short one, but I thought it was exactly the length that it should have been. And it was exactly the sound it should have been. It was perfect.
And that sound is built into the Osmos.
That's crazy. It's such a cool sound.
I made it bigger because I used the Valhalla shimmer in that.
Yeah.
So that it made it really big and stereo, But yeah, man, the Osmos is like one of my favorites beside that guy behind me.
Which one? The Mini Freak?
Mini Freak, yeah.
Yeah, someone in the chat was like, should I get it for $500? Anybody who says that, I'm like, get the Mini Freak, period. Add it to your arsenal because it is worth it 100%.
I was messing around with the Mini Freak today, and I got the Mini Freak to sound like an Edge.
Really?
Yeah, listen to that video I did.
Oh, you put a video up?
Yeah.
All right, I'll check that out when we get off.
They're just shorts.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I don't know. I got it to shorts. Your shorts don't show up in my feed.
Really?
Yeah, I got to go check that out because your videos do.
Oh, that's weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, man. I got it to sound like the Edge or the DFAM. So I was pretty blown away by that.
Sweet, man. All right, let's take it offline, man. All right, thank you for everybody who's joining us. Absolute pleasure having you all here. Christopher Gwynn, David Poole, Enzo Adrian Reyes, Jumpstar Hayes Anderson. Who else we got? Tommy Servo, Frank Manhands, Uncle Jerry's World, and a few more up here who are gone to bed.
Frank
DJ Doggy
Manhands.
Dead. What a name, man.
That's awesome.
All right. So you guys take it easy. Enjoy your night. Sayonara. Sloo, sloo.
Peace.